I was moving stuff around and configuring things and like playing around with it. So hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully you can see me okay. This is the part where I figure out exactly what I'm doing. And kind of make it up as I go. So greetings and welcome to a live thing from Veronica Explains. I'm Veronica and today I'm playing with Linux Mint because that's the thing you do. So hi everybody. Let's see, please set that thumbnail as your wallpaper. Oh, you're talking about the cinnamon rolls I found. I found cinnamon rolls and I gotta shut my sound off. There we go. That's annoying as all get out. Also, YouTube is telling me I need to insert an ad. Stop it. Undo. No ads. Okay. So hi everybody. I see lots of people in the stream having fun, hanging out. That's good. I got OBS figured out, which I think is working. So yeah, I think it's fun. So let me give you some backstory with this particular computer. So this is a fresh install of Linux Mint. I installed it last night on the computer that, if you watched my Mint versus Mint Debian edition video, it's the same computer from that one. So if you want the specs, you can go watch that. I don't remember off the top of my head what Dell it is, but it's some rando Dell laptop. And I am just getting it configured again because I want a benchmark Mint to compare another computer's Mint experience with, because there is, I don't know if you've heard about this, but Microsoft just implemented this, how would I put it, bad thing that they're apparently going to be doing with taking screenshots of your computer over and over and over again. And I know a lot of people are unhappy with this, and I get that. That makes sense. So my plan is to cover a couple of, I have a lot of people asking me all the time, how do I get Linux installed on a laptop? And I always think the best option is buy a laptop that already has Linux on it, that has good support. But I know that's not always the case. So I'm going to do a few different low budget options to help folks get the ball rolling. I've purchased one laptop. I don't want to spoil it, but it was inexpensive. And there's another one that I already had that's an older laptop that I'm going to be using. And this Dell here is just a typical run-of-the-mill laptop that I could imagine somebody might want for trying out a Linux for the first time. And I like, there's a lot of good distros I could recommend as a beginner distro, but Mint tends to be the one that, takes up the most oxygen in the room. So that's the one I'm going to be focusing on. But what I want to do is record me playing around with Mint and making it look less like this, the typical kind of minty Windowsy experience of, you got a taskbar down here and the time is over here and you got your icons for your apps, which for a lot of people is very comfortable. They like it, but I know some people want something different out of their system, and I want to be able to show a little bit about how you can do that. So that's kind of what this stream is going to be about, is just kind of futzing around with Cinnamon and seeing what we can do. Okay, so definitely looking at the chat. There's a lot of chat. Let's see. Thanks to everybody who's saying they like the channel. I appreciate that. I wish I could call everybody out, but there's a few in here. Debian and a TTY. There you go. No, I'm not going to recommend Debian and a TTY for a beginner. I mean, I use Debian and a TTY. I've done videos about my terminal. My first video was about Debian on a literal terminal. So, I love Debian on a terminal, but I'm not going to recommend it to to beginners. Not gonna lie, I love crappy budget laptops, says Jazz. I agree. I love crappy budget laptops. And thanks to my patrons and my supporters on Ko-fi and YouTube, I've been able to acquire a couple. So we're gonna have some fun with that. Yeah, Microsoft just wants to bring Black Mirror to your desktop. That's exactly it. And I've noticed in the comments the last couple of days, there's been a ton of people reacting to this and saying, hey, I'm switching to Linux, finally just discovered your channel. So definitely wanting to reach out to folks who are new, and I think that Mint tends to be the one that gets a lot of attention, at least here in 2024. Just toss them into the ocean with no floaties. No. Veronica's here. I just got my coffee. I got my coffee too. So you can't see that. It says V Strong, which I got from Target. Let's see. Really enjoyed your episode on Find. Found it great. Thank you. That, if you were paying attention to the title and the thumbnail, I changed it a bunch over and over and over again because the algorithm is just not going to show people a video about Find. It just isn't. It's just not going to hit the algorithm because it doesn't show up in search naturally. So I was playing with it, and I think I stumbled on something that works, but we'll see. Let's see. Refurbished Lenovo makes for great Linux laptops. I love Lenovo for this. So yeah, and I've featured a few times on the channel Lenovo. I might do a video where I go to a thrift store, possibly Free Geek, don't know, and we'll like shop around for a laptop and then get it working with Linux, and it'll be a lot of fun. Can't help to look at coffee getting cold. Yeah, it's a little chilly already. The coffee is anyway. It's actually pretty nice out today. And thank you, Annabelle, for that $2 tip. I appreciate that. Okay, does anyone know if the latest Ubuntu has good ACPI support on laptops, suspend, fan control, etc.? Haven't used Ubuntu for that, not the most recent one, so can't speak to it. But I've had good luck with suspend with Mint, and Mint is based on Ubuntu. So, okay, I could talk to the comments all day, but we should probably do the thing I'm here to do, which is to mess around with some Mint. So, this is all I did with this particular install was install it and update it to save you the boring part, and then just connect it to my capture card, which, by the way, I have a new capture card. So please let me know if you're experiencing any issues with the stream or anything like that. It's a very new setup for me. So this is kind of my first test of it, and we'll see how it works. God, there's so many great comments. Oh, geez. People talking about iPods, love iPods. People talking about Chromebooks, love Chromebooks. I'm so glad that these videos are helping you all. That makes me feel really good. Okay, so let's see. There's not like a weird echo right now. No, it looks good. I think I have everything set up correctly. Okay, so it shows you the first steps when you sign into Mint. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about here was this desktop colors over here, because this is one thing that Mint does really well. And this, I should mention, this is the Ubuntu-based Mint, not the Debian-based Mint. I love the Debian-based Mint, did a video on it, but figured this is the one that's going to hit the algorithm. People are more likely to install this one after searching rather than the Debian one. And so I'm using this as my kind of test case here. Somebody says, wait a minute, this is not the basement. No, I'm upstairs right now. Basement is, one, it's cold right now. Still haven't figured out, the insulation's done, but one of the walls is wide open to the rest of the basement where it's not insulated. So, we're still working on that. Let's see. Was the USB port damaged, or was it okay? Saga Wench is asking a question that came from my Patreon. Was my USB port damaged, or was it okay on my streaming machine? So my patrons and Ko-fi folks know I ran into an issue with my old desktop and it's port because I pulled on the capture card, like it hit the side of my chair and yanked out, and it damaged the port. I was able to repair the port, but I had to take apart the entire desktop. And I just ended up buying a new case while I was at it because I didn't have any USB 3.1 ports on the front of the case. Didn't have a USB-C on the front of the case. So I just ended up buying a new case. And my patrons and Ko-fi folks got a lengthy description of how that worked. It was a lot of fun. Okay, really got to focus. All right, so we got desktop colors. And I want to start with desktop colors because your typical GNOME doesn't surface this, at least not yet, at least not as of stream. There is, I believe, some discussion happening around accent colors, but Mint makes this really simple right away, which I know for some people is absolutely something they want to do. So let's jump into that. I hit launch. Did it do anything? Hello? There it is. Okay. I hit it twice. There was a delay. I wonder some of this might be the capture. So we'll see. So we can change. Let's start with style. We got light mode, dark mode, mixed mode. I've always liked mixed mode. We're gonna start with a dark mode, and because I know dark mode's popular, I want to surface that right away. So let's do dark mode. And so you got this color picker down here, which is really neat. I've always liked that. Now, Mint got rid of the green and replaced it with like a blue, which I'm not a big fan of. I liked the green accents. I thought the green accents looked good. But they do have other colors and other color setups just right here using the default theme, which is really cool. See, as you can see as I'm clicking, you can see this. If you look at this, the X here to close out, you can see it changing as I tweak things, but also if you look over here, you can see the accent color is changing as well, which is a nice introduction to the system. Now, I like Mint's green kind of aspect. Yeah, Mint's green was great, to be honest. I agree. So we're going to do that. I like Mint's green stuff. So now let's look at these styles. So these are the styles we get by default. Now Advaita, I never know actually how this word is pronounced because everybody on YouTube pronounces it differently. Advaita. So this is very GNOME-y because it is the GNOME. I believe it's the default in GNOME as of right now. And it's definitely an option, but that loses the color picker, and I'm not a big fan of this. So we're gonna move past that. Then we got high contrast, and this is from an accessibility standpoint, I like it. I wouldn't use it. And it doesn't appear that high contrast lets me pick mixed or dark, so that's okay. Now, Mint L. All right. So I don't know what the difference is between Mint L, Mint X, and Mint Y. If you know the difference between Mint L, Mint X, and Mint Y, leave me a comment. Let's see. Okay, that's not bad. It doesn't have a dark mode. It has mixed or light mode. Still lets me pick accents, but the accents don't translate to the top bar. Yeah, I think I like Mint Y. I think Mint Y is the one that I'm a big fan of. I like that the accent color is picked up here in the top bar. I like the overall feel of it. I think mixed mode looks good. I'm going to go with dark for now because that's the trend. But we will play with that as the stream goes on. And I think I'm going to go with green. So this is stock Mint so far. And I just made it dark mode, and that's all I did to it so far. So that all looks good. One thing I like about Mint is there's a driver manager, at least with the Ubuntu-based Mint. I think this is easier to find than on vanilla Ubuntu. The Debian edition has some advantages in that Debian Bookworm has some of this upstreamed, But at the same time, it can be convenient to have the driver manager actually active. So there's that. And I love that Mint, I adore that Mint surfaces system snapshots right away. That's excellent. Okay, so now we have a stock Mint. Aside from the fact that I made it dark. But now let's look at the default desktops that come with it. These are the desktop backgrounds. Now, I've always liked this one. I think that's really cool. That's really neat. Now, if we go beyond, we can go into the ones that shipped with the different versions. So you got Vanessa, Vera, Victoria, Virginia, and you got some great locations. That one's kind of cool. It's frozen. This is like what it was here in Minnesota last month. That's a joke. Ooh, I like this one. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, so far we're just tweaking the basics. This is the stuff that, you know, a new user could surface relatively quickly in much the same way as you could on Windows. So, you know, we're not really getting beyond what Windows could do at all. We could go through all the different backgrounds that ship with it, and of course you can add your own. And I believe it's as easy as you hit this button and you just navigate to where you'd want to find your background, you download a file, and away you go. Somebody had suggested I should find the cinnamon. I'll show you where I found it. Firefox loves keeping me safe. Thanks, Firefox. Okay, let's go to Wikimedia Commons, and then I did cinnamon. So I'm showing all of you where I found that picture. I just kind of scrolled. I think it's that one? That looks like it. Yep, okay. So I did credit it in the description. But there's the rolls. So we're gonna make a cinnamon roll themed. Let's pretend the owner of this computer is gonna be a baker. And they definitely wanna look at their work, because that's what everybody with a job loves to do. Okay, let's pick a good size. There we go. And set images desktop background. Center, set desktop background, and it should work, right? There we go. So we have a desktop background. Now I wonder where that shows up here. Anywhere? I wonder if it didn't show up because I had it open. I'm gonna try closing it and opening it up again. Just see if it shows up in there. Pictures. Nope, maybe not. Well, I don't care. That was easy enough to find, and for an average beginner, I think we could surface it. Okay, so far we've just done very surface level stuff. Oh my good, there's 320 people watching this right now. Hi, everybody. People asking, do I have a Discord? Oh geez, there's so much comment happening. I am so glad so many of you are thrilled with the cinnamon buns. I think the cinnamon buns are a nice touch, but now we need to get beyond what Windows can let you do, because you know, obviously that's a thing. So one of the things that I've always disliked, now I'm going to move myself so I can show you. One of the things that I have disliked about Windows 11 is that they keep the bar down here and you can't move it. And that has always bothered me, because I am the type of person who wants that taskbar to be in different places. I always did. Even when I was using like Windows 95, I would move the taskbar somewhere else. It really bothers me that Windows just like, I don't know what the reasoning is for just getting rid of this choice. I can't think of a technical reason why. And yes, people are going to say, you're going to comment, you can get that back with a hack or something like that. But we know that's beyond most beginners. And that's certainly not going to work in like a corporate environment. And so that's where I like showcasing that this is at least giving you some freedom here. Okay, so let's try it. We're going to take this and I'm going to say move. I just right click it and it says move. And I can just pick and boom, now it's at the top. So suddenly this is not looking as much like a Windows computer. And that took all of 5 seconds plus 19 minutes of me talking about it. So this is going to be really good. Now we have a top bar. Now, what does this look like if we go to the other sides? Let's just try it over here. That's a choice. I would not make that choice. I'm guessing it's going to be just as awkward over here. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I'm going to keep it on the top because we're going to pretend our baker really wants it on the top. So that's nice. Now, I'm going to do something that I know is controversial to some folks out there, and that's okay. I am going to add another panel that has the task icons. And the reason why I like this is because this, okay, so I'm going to point, nope, it's good. It's that way. Okay, right here. All right, so this area over here, I think for the most part is wasted real estate in a widescreen format. Because if you're surfing the web, I think we're in like what I need a phone. We're in this shape. That's the shape. Oh, I can see my own stream is up. This is the shape that the website is in. It's this long thing. It's not this wide thing. And so I think that for the most part, ever since the implementation of the smartphone, the web doesn't necessarily need to be as wide of a thing. Now, I like it that way, but websites don't necessarily require it. And so when people put the taskbar down here, they are shrinking this space, right over here. It's being crammed in. And I don't think that makes using the computer as convenient. You're squashing the real estate that you have available for the tasks that you want. Whereas over on this side, this is fun. Whereas over on this side, it doesn't squash that real estate. So I'm going to stop moving myself around on the screen, I promise. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna add the taskbar over on the side. So I believe it's as easy as, can I hit customize? Nope, that's the monitor layout. That's nice, but I don't want to deal with that. Right click and add okay, so you right click on the panel and then you say add a new panel. And then it asks you the position of the new panel. And I'm gonna say on the side. And there's a panel. It's there and it has nothing on it. Now I wonder if I can just panel settings and give it like a default usage. General panel options. Okay, I see. I think I see what it's doing, but that's not what I want. Although I probably could have just gotten there from edit mode, but we're going to go applets, and I'm going to see if I can add something tasks, right? Window list. That might be the one. Okay, let's do that. Window list. There we go. Okay, I can see my windows, but they're way down at the bottom. Now, one might like that. I don't. So I'm gonna edit this. We're going into edit mode. Okay. Now can I drag this over in here? There we go. Okay, so now it's closer to the middle. And now I want the panel to not take up as much space. Allow the pointer, no, that's not what I want. Okay. How do I make the panel? Is grouped window list? Okay, somebody says grouped window list is probably the one I want. Yep, okay. So let's, we'll do that in a second. I just want to see if I can make, how do you make the panel smaller? Do you just grab it? Okay, I'm experimenting with this. I know how to do this on KDE Plasma. Be smaller, panel. That makes it like width smaller, but that's not what I want. I want it to be like a dock. I mean, it is like a dock. I just don't like that it's taking up space. How do I make it smaller? Can I not make it smaller? Okay. Panel width. Well, panel width, I think, let's see. I mean, let's try that. See, panel width is just, it's shrinking it. I'll show you. It's shrinking it that way. What I want is for it to be smaller this way. And that's what I'm not seeing. Like, I don't want it to take up the entirety of the vertical space. I actually like it wider, but I don't want it to take up as much vertical space. Now, how do you do that? I have a theory. I'm going to move this panel over to here for now. And now I'm wondering if I can... Somebody's saying, oh, okay, wait. Somebody said I missed panel height. Is there a panel height? I don't see a panel height. Okay, I don't think there's a panel height. So I'm not sure it can do exactly the thing that I want. But, okay, I'm seeing a comment. It doesn't work that way. You need an extension for that. Greetings, a Mint dev team member. Okay, so thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. And let's see. So I cannot just drag and, okay. That's a thing I'm missing here because in KDE Plasma, it's pretty trivial to set that, and or at least in the plasmas I've worked with more recently. Now, somebody asked, can I make it transparent? That's a good question. I'm going to see about that because transparent panel could be nice and neat, but I'm not seeing that, at least not here. Somebody asked, are there more settings if you scroll down? I don't see, there's no scrolling down. I think this window is the size it is. And I'm not seeing a transparent there. Okay, Vecta says, need an extension to make it transparent. That's a good, okay. Let's see, I'm going to click on effects. And now let's see if this lets us do something. Okay, we got effects on dialog boxes. But these are very basic effects. I see, it's not letting me pick and choose. I mean, this isn't Wayfire or, you know, one of those. See, applets, you know, that's not going to do it. There's also an extension. Okay, so now, yeah, let's start looking in extensions and all that stuff. But okay, so here I should explain how I got here. So in the settings, I clicked themes. That got us to this area here. And now we are going to start searching. Yep, and let's try transparent. I'm seeing transparent version, transparent, simple dock. Simple center zone dock to left, right, and bottom. Adjacent, it's so hard to read this. Can I make it bigger for you? How do I make this bigger? I can make it bigger in OBS. Okay, woo! There we go. Okay, so that'll be helpful. Somebody remind me I need to reset the transform on this when we're done. Okay, so we got simple dock. I mean, there's themes right here, and these themes look really good. I just searched transparent, and I got one. Let's pick the one that's rated the highest. Let's do new mix, cinnamon transparent, and I'm going to hit install. We're going to see what happens. And then I'm guessing, oh, that was just refreshing the list. Okay, themes. Guessing it's somewhere. There it is. Okay, so scrolling down to the bottom after desktop. Now, whoa, okay, we have transparency. Now I'm still in edit mode, so I'm gonna move this back up here. Okay, this is starting to look a little bit more like I was imagining, which is good. Yep, dopamine core mentions do extensions and caution. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, the extensions, I mean, we've heard horror stories recently about extensions having problems. So just something to keep in mind. I don't know if Cinnamon has had that problem, but if memory serves, KDE Plasma had an issue where there was extensions that were breaking issues in the file system. And so, oh, yep, okay, everybody's... Resize the window. Thank you. Because I forgot. Let's reset transform. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm all sitting here going, ooh, ah. You can't see it. Okay. So let's exit edit mode just so you can see it. All right. We're out of edit mode. I'm hitting exit, and you can see we got a semi-transparent up here and a very transparent here, which is definitely a choice. It's definitely a thing you can do. I'm not a big fan of how this looks, though. I might try a different docking system. So let's see. What's our options? A desklet that launches a program. Does that do anything? I'm not sure. I'm going to search for dock. We're going to start there, because that's ultimately what I want, is a dock. And we're going to see what happens. Now, again, you know, extensions are a caution thing, to be sure. No, that doesn't, Plank doesn't work. Anybody got a good extension for this? Anybody at all? I might be searching the wrong thing. We have a network usage monitor. I mean, that's nifty. Yep. Okay. People. Yep. Someone talked about something called Plank. Plank is an option. Kobinja, who, if I'm remembering correctly, is the person who identified themselves as with Mint, says a dock wouldn't be a desklet. Okay, that's useful. It's good information. I still want to, let's try adding yet another panel, and now down here, I just want to see what we can add. Nope, still I'm not seeing it, but that's okay. It might be an applet. Okay. So now I'm hitting download, and we're going to see about what's popular here. Let's just check it out. Let's see, we got weather. That's kind of neat. That's the most popular one, apparently. We have Redshift, which is cool. Cinemenu, a flexible menu with grid or list layout. You know what? Let's try that. Let's just see how that works. Desklets, okay, so Kobinja says desklets are what was in Windows 7 called a widget. So if that's helpful. I didn't use Windows 7 all that much, so I don't think, I don't remember how I customized it, if I customized it. Okay, so you know what? I'm not liking this transparency because I can't see these windows. I'm going back to not transparent. Let's change the theme back to what it was. Oh, Anthony tipped me £2. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Yep, shout out. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's see, how do I customize it? I think I'm going to exit this. We're going to go back and we're going to go to system settings. We're going to go to themes and I'm going to change the theme away from transparent. Because I was fine with Mint Y. I think Mint Y looked good. There we go. Okay. And yet this one isn't. I bet I have to restart. Let's try moving it. No, it's still transparent. Okay, I'm going to restart. And while I'm restarting, I'll try to answer some questions. My very messed up Linux Mint here. Okay, so yeah, why is it red? Jimmy Neutron asks. Don't know. That's why I'm restarting the computer. Aren't they called widgets in KDE as well? I think widgets might be more generalized. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, widgets sit on the desktop is kind of how I'm imagining it. Okay, so let's see. GI says, I want to use Linux Mint again, but I bought a lot of Logitech peripherals. MX Keys Mini, Logitech Zone headset, and somehow can't use... Yeah, okay, so here's my top tip for getting the best possible experience with Linux and hardware. You gotta buy hardware that has Linux support. That's just it. And that's gonna limit your options. And that sucks. And that's just reality. You know, like, I have very rarely, if ever, had an issue with, like, gaming and GPU usage on Linux. And I chalk that up to, I always buy graphics cards that have drivers in Linux. You know, like, it's just always been the case. Laptops. I don't buy laptops that don't have drivers in Linux. And so I don't run into problems. Now, that's, you know, I'm buying knowing that I'm going to be using Linux. I've been using Linux since 2005. So that's just part of the course for me. Part of the course? Par for the course for me. That's not everybody. Ooh, Kobinja with a tip. You can restart just Cinnamon with Alt F2, then type R and enter. Okay, I'll show you. So we got our desktop back. The colors are back. Alt F2 and then R. That's neat. Okay. That is really cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kobinja. That's appreciated. Okay, PlankDoc is a system package in apt. So let's go take a look at that, because I think that's what I'm after. So we're gonna do a simple install. Oh yeah, I named this, I named it Fashion Nugget, because last night when I was installing it, I was listening to Cake. So, which is funny because now there's cinnamon buns. It's not really cake related, but like, it worked out. Let's see. Brian asks, do I validate every single system component prior to purchase? I mean, like, as much as I can validate as just like a typical person, I Google it. You know, I check, you know, like I might go to Reddit and search for whatever piece of hardware, Linux driver problems, and that'll usually expose if there's going to be a bug with it, before I go to the store to purchase it. But yeah, that tends to be how I do it. But I also tend to buy older stuff, and I tend to use my stuff for longer. I have never been the type of person who buys a graphics card every year. I usually buy a GPU every 4 years or so. Like I let it run for a really long time. And that tends to favor, and I've only ever bought AMD. I don't buy NVIDIA. And so I just never needed it. Okay, that R command restarts just the cinnamon process, which includes the window manager libmuffin. Okay, so let's see. We're going to do install. I don't even know what it's called. Is it Plank? It's Plank. Okay, so let's do that. Super secret password. And yeah, it looks good. I've never done Plank before, so we'll see. Now I wonder if I can just run it as an app. There it is. Yep, I like that. That is beautiful. That is everything I expect a dock to be. Now let's remove this panel. Yes. And let's remove this panel. And now we got to move this dock. I wonder how you set the dock settings. No, that's just going to be the name of it. Is there like a Plank settings? If you know the Plank settings, somebody asks, isn't Plank dock not being updated anymore? I don't know about that. That's a good question. Yeah, I guess I don't know. We got people talking about System D. I'm not going to get into System D. Like, you do what you want. So you add it to the startup. So now control right click. Okay, thank you. There we go. Appreciate that. All right. So now let's set, can you see this? You can see this. Okay, so let's set the dock. I want it to be on the left, but it's like in the wrong place. But I wonder if that's because I had something going on. So what was it? Control F2? No. Windows F2? Shift F2. Control Shift F2? How did I get... Now I got to scroll back up the... How'd I restart that thing? Let's see. I forgot what command that was. Okay, Vecta says Latte Dock isn't being updated anymore. How did I do that? Alt F2, thank you. Okay, and then R. Nope, and the dock is still like off. It's a weird place for the dock. It's off a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so if Plank isn't being updated, ooh, and we are on Linux Mint. We're just vanilla Linux Mint. People are giving bad commands in the comments. Don't go with those. Restart the dock, close it, and reopen it. Okay, let's quit and then reopen the dock. There, that looks better. Okay, yeah, I figured it was something like that. Yeah, the space is not reserved. Yep, I can see that. We quit and reopened it, and now that's working. So, I mean, that's a pretty good looking dock, I think. But if Plank isn't being updated, what do our options look like? It saved that this was the last thing I was looking at. Okay. Let's see. Make that big. And Plank alternatives. If I don't type a search, that's not at all what I wanted. God, search sucks. It's so awful. Okay, so here's my new, we're gonna have to go to Reddit and we're gonna search here. Because at this point, there's just no good, like, I need humans. Plank, Linux, alternative. Okay, nobody listen to Dopamine Core. Dopamine Core is sitting here telling you to, sudo rm rf the bin. Don't do that. That's bad. You will get in trouble. If anybody listens to Dopamine Core, that's on you. Okay. So let's see. Plank. I don't see Plank. Is Latte Doc still being managed? Top 10 Plank hacks you must know about. It's all bad. Okay. Where Plank, Linux, Doc. I want to see, are they suggesting Archwiki to save the day? Okay, so here's Plank. Latest version was in 2019. Yeah, that's pretty old. Okay, so who's got an alternative? I'll ask you all. Who else got an alternative? If you have an alternative to Plank Doc, please let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to work with this because it's there. I can't pronounce your name, I'm sorry, but Terrensirter asks, is this an exercise or new daily runner? This is totally an exercise. So folks have been asking, I better talk about it now, I suppose. I use Debian. I use Debian every day on my desktop. I have a few different desktops that I work with. It's typically Debian. It's been recently Debian stable on this rig here that I'm using right now for streaming and everything. And it works great, and it's all going just fine. On my laptops, I've got one running Debian stable, and I have another that I use with Debian SID, and I can use that to kind of test and troubleshoot. And those are my typical day-to-day distros that I'm using here in 2024. In the past, I've used Pop! OS, and before that Arch, and before that lots of other things, because I had a problem with distro hopping, as one does. But I do really just appreciate Debian's simplicity, what Debian does. And between SID and stable, I can really customize to my heart's content the things that I actually want to customize without needing to mess with the stuff that I don't. Let's see. Menno asks if Richard Stallman's still at Debian. Richard Stallman wasn't at Debian. At least not as far as I know. And people talking about systemd, I'm not going to talk about systemd. If you don't want to use systemd, don't use systemd. That's fine. Have fun with that. Really, have fun with it. Let's see. I'm confused. How many planks do I need to do before being able to customize? You need to do 5 planks. Down, up, down, up. Isn't that a plank? I don't remember what a plank is. I'm not much for the gym these days. Docky. Okay. Ooh. Meat Lotion says, made a super chat, but it never showed up. Oh, no. I'm so sorry, Meat Lotion. Let me see if I see it. Here, I don't want you to get fan funding. Okay, I got to click on a button. Yeah, it's not showing me one. So I think I got everybody so far. Andre joined the channel membership. Thank you, Andre. YouTube channel membership is atrocious because it doesn't let me send you things the same way Ko-fi and Patreon do. And I've always had this problem with it, where Ko-fi and Patreon let me send you stuff, like get into your inbox with like a link or a coupon code just for you, or, like these sorts of things. YouTube doesn't do that. There's no messaging option. I can post, but then it's posted more broadly, as opposed to Patreon and Ko-fi give me an opportunity to send you a direct message, which is useful for things that you do when you're establishing a community. I can't take DMs on YouTube. I can take DMs on Patreon and Ko-fi, and that has led to really good conversations with folks in this community. And YouTube just doesn't support that. So that's one of the reasons I don't really, I have YouTube memberships, and please, if that's the way you want to support, I really do appreciate it. But if you are a user of Patreon or Ko-fi, that tends to be what I recommend. So Study with Vicky asks, what's my favorite desktop environment? I've seen a bunch of folks asking this question. So it really depends. If we're talking a full-fat desktop environment, I love KDE Plasma. I always have. It's super customizable. It's super friendly to a person who likes to tweak things, almost to a fault. And I think they recognize that and are tweaking it. As far as basic usage of any sort of desktop, I like tiling. And nobody does tiling really great in the desktop environment perfectly. A lot of people do it okay. I really like Sway, but Sway isn't, I wouldn't call Sway beginner friendly. So I don't really recommend it if you're not really into that Unixy mode of customizing and tweaking. But yeah, as far as a day-to-day desktop environment goes, I do love KDE Plasma. Let's see. People are talking. KDE is great. KDE on my docked Steam Deck is my desk. Yeah, KDE is fantastic. I love KDE. I use Debian on my servers, people are saying. Yes, I too use Debian on my servers. Pretty much everything is running Debian. Stable distro for beginners for day-to-day use. Graphic designer and video editing. Depends on your definition of stable, depends on the software that you're using. I manage a YouTube channel with, lots of subscribers, thanks by the way, completely from Debian. And that works well. I do my thumbnails on Debian. I do my video editing on Debian. I use Kdenlive as an editor. I do my streaming on Debian. This is through OBS on Debian. And it works exceptionally well for me. But if I needed to use a proprietary tool, Debian might not be the choice I was using. If I needed to use something along the lines of DaVinci Resolve, I might choose a different distro because Debian isn't as well supported, at least at this point, not at least with Debian 12. I think they have Debian 11 support. So it really depends on the software that you're going for. If you're using free and open source stuff that's in the repos, it's hard to go wrong with Debian, but it won't update as fast as other things. And so that's definitely a thing to keep in mind. If you want quicker updates and you're not married to apt, Fedora is a really great middle ground between the speed of a rolling release and the slowness of Debian stable with, new releases about every 2 years. Techno Tim with a $10 tip. Thank you. Everybody go subscribe to Techno Tim. Techno Tim is wonderful. He's a delight. An absolute joy on YouTube. I don't know if you need me to tell you, go subscribe to Techno Tim, but he's fantastic. And thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. Let's see. Do you list what kit I use for recording, streaming anywhere? I do not. I don't like, I have a hard time with affiliate links. I really do. I've been debating it. Part of my problem is I don't want to be roped into encouraging rampant consumerism when it might not be necessary. And that runs counter to the narrative of the YouTuber, so I don't talk about that much. I don't need you to buy stuff. Like, and I don't want to be feeling like I need to encourage you to buy stuff. I'd much rather the channel be supported through monthly sustainers than through purchases. Now, that's not for everybody, and that's fine. I absolutely adore lots of channels that do this sort of thing. I don't think that's bad. It's just I struggle, e-waste is kind of a problem, and I struggle with encouraging people to buy stuff when chances are what you have right now is fine. Now, that said, if you have questions about what I use, shoot me a comment. I'll talk about it at some point. Okay, Michael with a $5 tip says LMDE 6, question mark. Well, thank you for the tip. I did a video comparing the two. I love LMDE. I wish Mint Team positioned it differently. Like, I think the Debian edition has an audience that would be on par with the traditional Ubuntu-based edition. And Mint Team, I'm not sure why they separate it. And, that's for them and cool, whatever. But I personally, I love LMDE. I would use LMDE if Cinnamon was my jam. I think that's what I would do. So yeah, at this point, it's not the one I would choose because Cinnamon isn't my favorite desktop environment. Not that I dislike Cinnamon. It's a great desktop environment. I just like tweaking things a lot. Let's see. Any thoughts on Cosmic desktop environment and tiling on Cosmic? I have loved GNOME's tiling. I did a video about it. GNOME's tiling features that go in the GNOME, I think are great. The ones that System 76 made. I keep saying GNOME. It's not GNOME. They've had discussions about this. It's System 76 made some fantastic tiling extensions that work in GNOME. They are wonderful. I adore those. They're probably not going to be supported. Would be my guess once System 76 releases Cosmic Desktop Environment. So I'm going to be following that with great interest. I will definitely be giving it a try. And I think it's going to be good. I'm betting it's going to be good, but we'll see. Right now on this editing rig, I am using GNOME because I have a plan for a GNOME video. So I'm trying to force myself to really enjoy GNOME, and it is what it is. It's not bad. There are things I wish it did differently, and that's the reason why projects like Cinnamon and Cosmic exist. Are you going to use that Mint after the stream? If not, can you delete root? Dopamine core. You really want me to delete root? Sure. I'll delete root when we're done. If you all, I'll do sudo rm rf that whole thing. I will destroy this computer at the end of this if you all you all have to say stop dopamine core in the comments, and I will, if 100 people say it, I'll delete root on this thing. So go to town in the comments. Have fun. Let's see. I hate that LMDE is stuck with Cinnamon. Wish LMDE had XFCE support. See, but then at that point, just go with Debian. If you want, if what you're after is, here, let me show you. If what you're after is XFCE, I mean, let's see, what's Debian shipping? Debian XFCE version. Because, XFCE is great. Just install it from Debian. You can literally take Debian and install XFCE from the installer. You don't even need to do anything fancy. You get to the point where it asks you for a desktop environment. You just pick XFCE and uncheck GNOME, and you have XFCE. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. There, I'm starting to see people saying stop dopamine core. So bring it on, do it. And then I'll delete root on this, and we'll have some fun. I should destroy one system at the end of every stream. It's a deal. I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, you can just, I guess my thought is if you want XFCE, just install it the traditional way on Debian. I think it's going to be great. Oh, Lynn sends $13.37. Thank you. And thanks for the awesome Linux and open source videos. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I love doing Linux and open source videos, and I'm not going to stop. Okay, restart dopamine core. Stop dopamine. was that a System D joke? Restart dopamine core? That's fantastic. Okay, let's destroy this thing. Let's be done. This was a lot of fun. You can see there are ways to tweak this. You can, like, if I wanted to unpin this stuff from the panel, I can do that. If I wanted to remove the I can move things around in edit mode. If I go to edit mode, I think I can just start moving and dragging and clicking and like, oh, I'm going to move the time to the middle. So now it's very GNOME. I think I can just get rid of the grouped window list. Yep, that's fine. It's all gone. So now, hey, look at that. It looks more like GNOME. And that didn't take me very long. So it was a lot of fun. So do I have to exit edit mode? There we go. So look at that. I made it look like GNOME now. At least a little bit. See, unlike GNOME, this has a launchers, like it'll tell you in the taskbar what it's doing. So yeah, there's that. That's an option. And now for the grand finale, I guess, of this fancy live stream. We're going to destroy Fashion Nugget. So just like that, right? Okay, so that's good. Thanks for doing it. Let's see if you can see it, because at some point it's it's not going to be sending footage to the capture card anymore. Uh-oh. Okay. So I better unplug it now. It's gone. So here's what it says now. I just got some stuff. It's gone. Okay, that was fun. So now I will say, if your plan is to destroy your data, that's a lousy way to do it. Because like it's still there. I could pull up some utilities and get at least some of that data back. If I wanted to destroy the hard drive, the best way is with a drill press. But beyond that, if you want to make less e-waste, you can do something with you can always hit the secure boot, or not secure boot. That's not what I'm trying to say. Oh, what is it? You can go into, you have to do secure erase. That's what it is. So, and different drives have different requirements. You have SATA, it's going to be different than NVMe. So you might need different tools, and so you can look that up yourself. But the secure erase stuff is usually pretty good. If you have a spinning disk hard drives, I usually run nwipe on it. Which is all kinds of fun. Meat Lotion says if it's an SSD, put it in the microwave for 3 minutes. Yeah, that can do it. Okay, so this was fun. We got a little bit of cinnamon play in, but it was mostly just chat, and that's okay. I enjoyed the chat. Meat Lotion says that's Brody's thing. LOL. I did. It's Brody's thing. It looks like I might have added a new member, Jared. Thank you, Jared. Appreciate the help there. Yeah, shred is okay for HDD. Yeah, that's exactly hard drives, spinning disk hard drives, you can shred, you can NWipe, that you can write the ones and zeros over it. If you do that with a solid state drive, it's not actually going to delete all of the data in an unrecoverable way. So you usually want to use the hard drive's controller's secure erase functionality. I keep calling it secure boot because my brain is thinking about this laptop. And you usually want to do that, and it's going to be different depending on the different types of hard drives. So or the solid state drive. So I don't necessarily want to try to speculate. There is a tool out there. It's a paid tool. I believe it's based off of Slackware called Pannet Magic, which if you have a copy of that, that's really cool. That can facilitate a lot of this stuff. And I've used Pannet Magic before, and it's great. This thing's dead. I'm turning it off now. Let's see. Okay, and what am I running OBS on? How did I get Cinnamon on it? So I didn't run Cinnamon. Let me explain this. I'll explain to you the workflow. I have a desktop. It's a fancy new tower, but a lot of older components inside it right now. And I run a capture card, actually 2 capture cards now on this. One for the camera and the other for the laptop. And those go into OBS, which then goes out to YouTube. So what you saw with Cinnamon was not, OBS wasn't running on it. It was the HDMI cable from the laptop going into my capture card, and then I just told Cinnamon to mirror the 2 displays. Yes, SE Linux actually stands for Secure Erase of Linux. I've heard that joke before. Study with Vicky asks, Wavefire? I've only just started playing with Wavefire a little bit on a different laptop, and so far I like what I see. It's fun. It doesn't tile. I mean, it does. It actually does tile, but it doesn't tile quite the same way that I'm expecting, at least not out of the box. And the nice thing about Wavefire is it looks super configurable, so I might be able to get it to do what I want. The thing about Wavefire is, in my initial play with it, there's a lot of eye candy. There's a lot of things go in, things. If you don't know what Wavefire is, it's kind of the spiritual successor to Compiz, but for Wayland. So if you have been around Linux a while, you might remember Compiz effects and things like the fire destroying the window when you close it and fun stuff like that. Wavefire does all that now. And it's really cool. It's really fun. I tend to not like as much eye candy. I tend to be much more straightforward and simple. And part of that is that what I'm doing with a computer has always either been in the terminal, working with legacy systems and, SSH a lot of the time and on all that, or it's been working with, more recently video editing and stuff like that. And then I tend to want to devote all my resources toward the editor. Mate will use Wavefire for Wayland. It's going to be, I think I read that. That's very exciting. Let's see. Jumpstart used to be the way we installed Solaris. I don't remember Jumpstart. Now I got to think about that. Which capture card do I use? So just replaced my capture cards, actually. So this is my first stream with the new capture cards. I got 2 Blackmagic cards. They're internal PCI cards. The USB thing is eating away at my brain because it seems like half the time I would have to unplug it and plug it back in order to get UDEV rules to register correctly, and it was all kinds of problems. So I switched to PCIe capture using 2 Blackmagic cards. One was the Intensity Pro 4K, which has the advantage of a video output for the monitor. So this is going to enable me to do some really cool things in my editor, seeing what I'm editing in a separate monitor from where I'm editing it. So I'm looking forward to messing around with that. The other one was, I believe it's the Decklink Mini 4K. It has one HDMI and one SDI port in. And that's what I've been using for this whole thing. Right now, this is plugged into the Intensity Pro 4K. So it works really well. Samuel asks, can I catch them all with the Blackmagic capture cards? By catch them all, if you mean all the different screen resolutions I can throw at it, it's done really well with everything up to 4K. If you mean Pokemon, no, it doesn't do that quite yet. Let's see. Yep, Addie says those Blackmagic cards are what we use for our Zoom station. Yeah, the Blackmagic cards are they're dead simple in Linux. There's a driver, you install the driver, and it just works. And OBS seems to do really well. The flat pack of OBS doesn't register it, though. So I had to switch back to native OBS, and so I'm still playing with that. Yep, i3 and X here unfortunately got an NVIDIA card before I began using Linux. Yeah, that's the story. I need to get an NVIDIA card just to experience some of this heartache. I don't have one, at least not a modern one. I think I have an old NVIDIA, you know, maybe 800 something, if that ages me on it. This was years and years and years ago. Let's see, Meat Lotions using Hyperlend on Wayland. Yeah, Hyperlend looks good. It's the eye candy thing, though. If I'm disabling all the eye candy, I might as well use Sway. Let's see. Hi, Veronica. Nice poster in the background. I have two posters in the background. One is Repair Manifesto, which is from iFixit. You can go get that from iFixit. The other, if you see it, is Major Kira from Deep Space Nine, and she's standing over the body of a dead Cardassian. And it says, join the resistance front for the defense of Bajor. So that's me. And I do not sell that one. I think you can buy it from a website where it's raising money for a charity or something. So it was all kinds of fun. Let's see. Any suggestion for headsets, mouses, and keyboards? If you're assuming from a Linux standpoint, I have no problem at all with the, I use trackballs, and so the MX Ergo has been my mouse. Headsets, I usually plug wired things in because I need no delay between when it's playing and when I'm hearing it because I'm editing. And if I'm editing and there's a delay, I can't tell if the delay is because of this or because of that. So, and wired headsets are going to be pretty simple and straightforward. Oh, Meat Lotion says, NVIDIA on Wayland is perfectly good for me. 0 issue. Okay, well, now that's interesting. Meat Lotion, are you using proprietary drivers, or does it just work when you plug it in? Because, I mean, I don't have a problem with proprietary drivers, but they can sometimes be hard to get. Debian might be easier now than it was before, but I just don't have one to try it. So that's cool, though. I'm excited about that. Bobby Bologna says, Gul Dukat did nothing wrong. I am removing you from the street. No, I'm just kidding. So let's see. Meat Lotion's using the open drivers. Okay, that's okay. Maybe I'll try an NVIDIA card at some point if somebody can send me one. Yeah, I'm not going to spend money on it because it has historically been such a problem, but I mean, if it's getting better, it's getting better. If Meat Lotion, what distro are you on? You're not on Debian, I don't think, but let me know. Proprietary driver 555 supports Wayland really well, Jess says. Okay, so let's see. Oh, Willen, hi Willen, appreciate it. Let's see. Proprietary drivers with XOR. People are. We're talking Star Trek. Okay, what's your favorite? I will say, I have not watched much of the ones on Paramount Plus, so please no spoilers. Because I don't do streaming. I do this kind of streaming, but I don't stream video. So, of the 5 first 5, original series to Enterprise. I'm curious, what do you all like? I've always been a Next Generation person, but I'm also one of those weirdos who thought Enterprise was pretty good. So, not the last episode though. Real bad. Yep. Okay. People are not just chatting. People are offering cards. If you have a card you want to send me, you can send me an email. Let's see, if you're not in my Patreon or something, let me put up my email. How do I put up my email on this? Add text. I need to add text. And I'm going to put my email up. I probably should have done this beforehand. That's okay. There's my email address, and you can't see it easily at all. I'm going to make it smaller, and we're just doing it live. Okay, there's my email. Can you see that? Does that look okay? explainer@vkc.sh is my email. So, let's see. CH. I see what you did there, CH. CH asks, what was wrong with Terra Prime? I agree. Nothing was wrong with Terra Prime. Terra Prime was great. It was a fantastic way to end it. Yep. So, yes. People, I think Enterprise and Firefly both suffer a problem, and that is a bad intro song that doesn't really explain the premise, but causes a lot of people to click off. And I can't help but wonder, in both shows, both Enterprise and Firefly, like especially with Enterprise, you have this issue of the feeling of the show having been tweaked in a uncomfortable way by maybe some of the audio and video decisions, the choices made. And I get it, they were trying to do something different. They were trying to do something appropriate for the times, or at least new for the times. But I think that some of the stylistic choices with Enterprise were a swing and a miss. And Firefly, I think a lot of people clicked off because they didn't like the intro song. But I liked it. I thought it was okay. Let's see. Tasha Yar got a raw deal. Absolutely. DS9's my favorite. Voyager's my lead. See, I like Voyager. I think Voyager's fine. I liked Voyager. Yep. Okay. Meat Lotion likes Enterprise. There we go. Yep. Let's see. It's the Linux Mom, but live. Hi. Yes. The Firefly theme. I don't think the Firefly theme is that bad. I think the Firefly theme doesn't tell the story in a way that's compelling. It sounds like a different kind of show. And I think that was the problem with the theme. And Firefly didn't have the advantage of a lot of fan base clamoring to it in its initial run. So I don't think it ever really got the chance to get beyond some of these stylistic choices that might have put off somebody who wasn't already really deeply embedded in sci-fi. I think that's the Firefly curse, but I mean, I liked it. I thought it was good. Let's see. Are you going to show us how to record music on Linux? Not today, but I could probably do something. Like, it's the problem with recording music on Linux is that I would then have to record music that I get to completion in order to show it to you. And that actually is a really time-intensive process. And it's not that I can't do it, it's that it would become so much of the channel if I spent a significant amount of time on it, and I'm not convinced those videos would do well. It's like when I cover a gaming video, or when I cover a gaming topic like the cartridge reader, it does well for some people, but for my channel, I don't think people come to my channel looking for that kind of content. And I worry that the investment of time would end up hurting me as far as subs are concerned. And that has to be, this is what pays my bills right now. So this has to be a thing that comes into it. That said, I'll probably do some music at some point. Let's see. Have I ever seen The Expanse? I saw a couple episodes of it. I don't remember where it's on, but I don't do streaming anymore, so I don't know. Let's see. I wish I could show you the things people are saying. I should take a screenshot of it and then have that come up. Server Monk says, I wish the Serenity movie never happened. I don't want to do spoilers, but like there's some stuff that happened in it that I think kind of hurt. Yeah, I do agree there. The Penguin Bird says FreeBSD is more secure than Linux. It depends on a lot of things. FreeBSD has the advantage of being a lot more monolithic than Linux is. You know, the same people developing the bootloader, the people developing the OS, or the people develop. You know, it's managed in a different way. Security, there's debates. You can make points either way. Samuel asks, what music do I listen to and how? Okay. I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. Mostly if you wanted to sum it up, it generally falls under indie. But it's a lot of what is now just like older classic, either classic rock, punk, stuff from the classic era of synths and new wave. It's a lot of what now I think nowadays we would just call kind of generically indie or alternative. But that tends to be me. If I don't stream anymore, what do I use for that? Yeah, Jellyfin. I assume Jellyfin. So I don't stream content from your Netflixes or your Hulus or that sort of thing. I buy Blu-rays and DVDs. They're super cheap when you buy them used anyway. And yeah, I just do it that way and it's fine. Okay, give us band song recommendations. I recommend everybody purchase all of the B-52's albums. That's going to be good. Just do that now. Josh Harris says anything but country then. If it's country from pre-1970, there's a good chance I don't hate it. Let me put it that way. Let's see. Yep. Okay. And alternative, I don't know if I like, I made fun of the term alternative in the Linux Mint versus Mint video. I use Plex. I want to like Jellyfin. Why should I switch? Meat Lotion says. You shouldn't. If you like Plex, do Plex. Jellyfin's come a long way. There's no paywall with Jellyfin, at least not yet. Like I went from Plex to MB to Jellyfin, and I basically switched over paid features because I didn't want to pay for them, and like it's nothing personal. It's just I wasn't that invested where I couldn't just switch. Right now I'm using Jellyfin. I'm testing Jellyfin with on a server and then Kodi on the back end, and syncing those two and just kind of experimenting around in the hopes that I can do a video on it at some point. So that'll be fun. Let's see. Jellyfin drove me insane. Jellyfin's come a long way, I will say. Jellyfin 2 years ago was not Jellyfin today. If you haven't tried it recently, it's gotten a lot easier. YouTube's yelling at me that it needs to insert an ad. I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Yeah, if you bought the lifetime license, there's no, yes, that's, if you're not, like Plex, I think is fine if you're not paying for it and it's doing what you need to do. If you want to get away from a subscription, Jellyfin, I think, is worth a shot. Where Jellyfin struggles right now is the native player for mobile doesn't have offline play, which pretty much kills it as an iPod killer for me. Not that I need an iPod killer, but the fact that it doesn't actively have its own offline play, download it and play it later, that's an issue for me because I don't want to expose my server to the internet. And so I tend to do there's there's a third-party player that I've been enjoying called Finamp. But there's a few others, and I'm going to be trying a bunch of them and just kind of seeing what I like. Meat Lotion asks, is Jellyfin multi-user? It can, yes. I've set up users to hide certain content, and it works out really well. Yeah, I have a bunch of family and friends who use my Plex too. Can we watch? Yes, Jellyfin does watch together now. It didn't used to. I tested it recently and it worked out pretty well. It was buggy from the Roku Jellyfin app, but buggy, like, that might have been Roku. That might have been my Roku's fault. I'm not a Roku user. I just was testing it. But yeah, it does. We can do watch together, and it's really nice because, if like we're traveling or something, or somebody's traveling, we can VPN, and like it works out really well. Do I put music on I put my music on Jellyfin, but I mostly listen on my iPod, and I did a whole video about that. Let's see. There are this has become Jellyfin with Veronica. Which is great. Okay, I should take this computer and set up a Jellyfin server. No, a Jellyfin. Okay, do you want me to do a Jellyfin video? This will be how I end it. I'm gonna do a poll. Let's do. Should Veronica Explains do a Jellyfin video? Yes, no. I'm gonna add one for whatever. Okay, we're doing a poll. I love polls. Polls are great. I guess in my mind, I wasn't thinking Jellyfin was super exciting. Like, I kind of feel like streaming it becomes such a buried topic, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe people want to see. Okay, people want to see it. Okay. Yes, I think that looks really well. Veronica needs to partner with a cake shop, please. If anybody knows any cake shop, I don't do sponsorships, at least not yet. I'll do a cake shop sponsorship. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Oh geez. Okay, there's so many good fun comments here. Can do a bake-off with Lauren's systems. Challenge. That could be fun. That could be exciting. What I like about Jellyfin specifically is that Jellyfin, I think, at least as of right now, has maintained that open source feel. It's definitely a open source, you just install it and it just works kind of project. Whereas MB and Plex both kind of went with the, we need to make money on this, and like, maybe Jellyfin is unsustainable. I don't know. But yeah, it's exciting. I like it because it just works out really well, and I think it just kind of works. It's just easy. Yeah. Veronica, try to make a cinnamon roll on stream. So when I bake, it's very much just me, like, sitting here at a laptop, reading the instructions, and then just being quiet and, like, focusing. It's not very fun. So we'll see. Use grep for the chat. I might have to download it later. What could I bake on a CPU? I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. That could be a fun, like, side project. Okay, serious Jellyfin question. Does Jellyfin have an LG WebOS client? I do not know, because I do not have a WebOS, a modern WebOS TV. The only one that I have is very old, and I don't think I've connected it to the internet in probably 5 years at least. So that, I mean, if somebody's got answers on that, there you go. Jason says, Jellyfin is to the point, no bloat, like Plex for me. Yeah, I haven't used Plex in a while to know if it feels bloated, but yeah. Jellyfin is just straight to the point. It just kind of works. Let's see. Can compile Linux on a toaster, cannot compile a cinnamon roll. That's fair. Let's see. There's so many questions and so little time. Okay, Study with Vicky says, what smartwatch do I suggest? I'm going to show you mine because it's not smart. This should be how I end it. Okay, this is my watch. And can I make it focus on the watch? There we go. That's my watch. It is a Casio data link from way back in the day. And, or data bank, not data link. I said the wrong thing. That is my watch. And I use, a not smartwatch because I was sick of being spied on. I don't know that there's a really user-friendly smartwatch out there that isn't going to be a privacy nightmare. And for me, that's a deal breaker. I don't want to be... I don't want my watch making a phone call because I don't want to accidentally make a phone call. I don't want my watch to get text messages because if I'm not in my phone, I don't want to see my text messages. I mean, I know that's not everybody, and you do you. But for me, I tend to like my watch to be as dumb as possible. This one has the advantage of having a calculator, which is kind of fun. Yes, Jimmy Neutron, it does have a calculator. Yeah, and I was going to say, if you want to mess about and figure stuff out, Pine Time is interesting. I've only played with it briefly. I have one in the basement, but I haven't really gotten into it. Pebble, I had issues with Pebble because I had a Pebble back in the day and I actually liked it just fine. Still with I didn't necessarily want to get my text messages on there. And after a while, it's like, why do I have a smartwatch? But ultimately at the end of the day, if I'm not in my phone, I don't want to be in my phone. That's my practical reality with it. Now, I'm privileged enough to be able to carry my phone with me where I need to go. I definitely felt differently about it as I was caring for a newborn. But even then, I was sick of accidentally calling people. I was sick of accidentally, dialing or having my phone listening to me by accident or, hitting buttons and triggering something happening. It got annoying. But that's just me. Yeah, Jess says you need to use the Rebel servers. I had an issue with the Rebel servers, and I don't remember what it was. I think it's that you need to get on Discord in order to talk to them. And I didn't like that. Ariel asks if I'm using the 24-hour format. I'm not. I hit a button as I was showing it. So now it's back to the regular format. Okay. Yep. I think I'm going to pull down the stream here. It's been an hour and a half. I need to eat lunch. And then I need to go do mom stuff for the rest of the day. But hey, you all are just so awesome. And I just got to thank everybody on the stream and everybody who has subscribed and all the people who have been supporting what I've been doing here. You all, this is my first test of a new streaming rig, and it worked out really well, but I couldn't have done that without you all. So seriously, thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. So it's you all make this so much fun. I'll put my email up again. If anybody has any questions that I didn't answer or just want to chat or something, there's my email, explainer@vkc.sh. You can go ahead and shoot me an email and I'll do my best to respond. Usually after I share the email, it gets a bunch of emails, so I might not respond right away, but I'll get to you as soon as I can. And as always, Linux is awesome, and so are you. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. Oh, I have to hit end. End.